following program is part of the Patriot Broadcasting Project, brought to you by the Scene Projects Podcast Network. Well, welcome into the Patriot Broadcasting Project. I am your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is U.S. congressional candidate James Bialota. James, welcome to the show. James, can you hear me?
Lag issue. I can hear you now.
Fantastic. Well, I wanted to have you on the show. You caused quite a stir recently in the Rapid City area, speaking out against some of these, city council members who are not only pushing some things that I don't think a lot of citizens want, but they're also on the take. And you kind of expose that by taking yourself into the city council meetings and using your rights as a citizen to get out there and speak before their minutes. But what I found very interesting is the clip that I saw where they actually had you removed from the meeting. So it's obvious what your motivations will be for running for this U.S. Congress seat that we have, our one representative from the state of South Dakota. But I want to give you a chance to kind of speak about maybe some other motivations that you have and a little bit of your backstory so that our voters here can get to know you.
Sure. And thank you very much for having me. So a little bit about myself personally. I'm a U.S. combat disabled vet. When I took my oath to this country, I knew the Constitution. We all did. We knew we were putting our lives, blood, sweat, and tears on the line for the Constitution. And somehow that has fallen away from government. So that's one of my big motivations. The other one is we need justice reform. One, we need to make police's jobs easier. We don't need to be sending the same 10 felons back onto the street once a year. Period. The other thing is I have a written plan. I'm a financial guru to end the federal income tax in our lifetime. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to take about 15 years. But I have a written plan to end the federal income tax and remove the national debt. So, and that's kind of what I'm pushing right now. I think that would be beneficial for everyone in this country. And what's going on is that the city and the county have been tag teaming each other to go after me. And so that's part of this background story we're having to deal with. They're using their powers to go against the Constitution. And when people stick up to it, as you see in the video at the county, they threw us out of the meeting, and not for any valid reasons. They said, look, you're exercising your First Amendment rights, naming names. And they have a problem with that. And
their names are on the tags in front of their
seats. They don't want names named to increase. Right. You couldn't say it any clearer. But they had a real problem in the last meeting where I named county officials who had criminally violated the law, and they don't want the public to know what's going on because it increases their civil liability. How many other people are going to come out of the woodwork to say, wait a second, they did that to me. That's illegal. And that's what we're sticking up for, because I've had a lot of people come up to me, some of the other people that have been on your show, that are just screaming about injustices. Like in one case, I know you know Tyler, a judge assigned. In another case, I watched a judge tell people They did not have the right to an attorney. And no one is standing up for these people.
It's
And
been
that's what I hope
incredible.
to do when I get to Congress.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if the local powers are fighting you, we need federal oversight.
yes, and obviously we've been documenting the saga of the Calkins Ranch here on the Patriot Broadcasting Project for quite a while now. And digging into the story, Tyler and I have been friends for 20 plus years. We both obviously working in the music industry, but he's really been the impetus for me continuing to do more and more on this side of the fence, right? As a podcaster, as a media personality, to support the small people, because all of the news organizations, whether it's print or TV media, are all owned by a very small group of people in the state of South Dakota. And I think that's something that we don't realize as regular citizens. These people are funneling huge money into these city and county officials, which you chronicled in your in your, I think it was the county commissioner meeting, that these people have all taken money from, especially the Liberty Land, these organizations that are behind pushing these agendas. It takes a considerable less amount of money, I think, to sway politicians in South Dakota than some of the bigger jurisdictions around the country. And they are putting the full weight of what they're doing. And these politicians at the city and state level are lining their pockets while the regular citizens are footing the bill, whether it's in TIFs, which are, kicking the tax, the tax money down the road and giving these companies significant amounts of tax benefits that are not benefiting our communities whatsoever. And without you bringing attention to it, I may have never realized what was actually going on. But we're dealing with the same thing here close to us in Yankton with Yankton Thrive, who is also part of the same people that are running the Rapid City Elevate, right? So you have these large national conglomerates with all the money in the world that are now starting to influence more and more our state and local governments. And without people speaking up like us, James, nothing's ever going to get done. And without people like yourself, who are not just serving your country, and I thank you very much for that, but serving your community and your state by getting out there and running as a candidate for this single U.S. Congress seat that we have. James, are you still there?
Well, thank you. And, I really want to say, I want to thank you because broadcasts like yours are informing voters. All the time, people ask me, why did my taxes go up? Why did the school close? Why did I lose health care? And then the same people 6 months earlier go, well, I don't really vote. And so that's something that needs to change. Complaining about it after the fact doesn't help anybody. You got to get ahead of this problem and affect change when you can. In rare instances, and I'm quickly finding people are calling me and saying, "Hey, can you help me? Can you broadcast this? Can you tell my story too?" And we're going on because, as you said it's the powers that are funding these candidates who are enacting laws or TIFs or other policies that only benefit them. And so, as a congressman, I represent all the people. I'm a Republican, but if you're a Democrat and you say, right, I'm not going to ignore them. We're going to look at everybody and help everybody. And I think people have forgotten that along the way. Our founding fathers said Congress's duty was to listen to the voice of the people. And I don't think that's going on right now. It's really not. People are saying better schools. We want certain things that are going on in our government to stop. And I'll just put it out there right now that I am not in favor of taking away people's rights or people's property rights for business. Now I'm a businessman myself. I own a sporting goods shop. I own real estate, but in no world do I expect somebody else to give up their property so I can make an extra $100.
No, James, and to maintain the integrity of our government should be the highest order of what we are trying to do, right? And I think that because our media has been captured not just at the national level, but now we're starting to see at the state and local levels, that independent media is our only solution. And that is exactly why they will continue to try and silence people like yourself and eventually people like me. They better come ready for a fight, because we're not going to stop. We know the power that we can yield now, and we're going to continue to do so. Dealing with a little technical difficulties and some lag on this, and I don't want it to degrade the conversation. So, James, what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a minute to tell everybody where they can find out more about your platform now. And we're going to look down the road. I'm going to be out in the Black Hills later this month. I'd like to get together with you. I'm going to bring my cameras with me, and I'd like to sit down and do an in-person with you if you would be so gracious with that, so we can really get this out here without dealing with, internet issues or whatever it may be today. So if you take a few seconds, tell people where they can find out more about your campaign, find out more about your platform, and then I'll let you get out of here today and we can reconvene later this month again.
Yes, and thank you. And I'm sorry about that. We plugged into the internet. We're obviously having issues, but you can find B as in boy, IALOTA for Congress. My personal congressional email for the candidate is jamesbcongress@yahoo.com. And we're even, if you have issues and you provide your phone number, we will try to reach out and help you. And I know that's not been done before. A triple staffer, and they don't sound interested because they don't have a dog in the fight. I'm here with you. I'm the dog that's in the fight. And that's what a congressman's job is. It's not just to write laws. It's to help his citizens of his represented area, which is the entire state of South Dakota. And thank you very much. Sorry for the lag issues. We'll go into that a little bit more in a personal interview, because oddly enough, the candidates opposing me got a search warrant for me, which reeks of Watergate. So we'll get into a whole lot more
Yes,
of that
we're going
later.
to.
Thank you for your time, sir.
No, and I thank you, James, for coming on the show and for speaking up for the regular citizens of South Dakota. I think especially with our listeners and with a much wider base than that, that your message is going to resonate. And it's our job to make sure that it gets out there and is available for the people, as well as all the information that you've been sharing. We'll continue to reshare it on our social media and to keep doing all that we can to protect the rights of our citizens here in South Dakota and in the greatest country ever in history, the United States of America. Thank you again, James, for being part of the program today. And for everyone else, make sure that you are liking, subscribing these videos, and then sharing them with your fellow citizens as well. We will see you next time on the Patriot Broadcasting Project.